Well, in this section, we will be capturing the balances of the general ledger accounts. For this, we're looking at 1.1.3 November 2024. So you need to open your file, the one that you've been using. Be careful not to choose another person's file. In my case, it's equal1. I'm then going to enter my password as is normal, and we'll move on. When it comes to general ledger balances, the first thing that you need to remember is that you will need to learn the balances, meaning that on which side each balance will be captured. In this question paper, the examiner was quite lenient by stating these amounts or general ledger balances in the respective column. For example, capital is usually a credit balance, so it's stated on the credit column. Now, you're not going to get that freebie, I will call it, in all instances. What I'm trying to tell you is that you will need to memorize, use a trial balance from your financial accounting syllabus, use past papers, use the textbook of CFS N5, and memorize and learn. Lastly, use the worksheet that I drew up for you. It's quite helpful. You need to know which side each account goes. Having said that, the next point I want to bring to your attention is when you're capturing these balances, you have to read the question paper carefully. In this case here, it says the balances are on 30th of April 2022. Now, point one, if you look at the periods that we set up, 30th of April 2022 is last year's period. In other words, last year's period 12. So having said that, we now look at the question carefully. It says there, use the general journal to capture the balances given in question 1.1.3 on 30th of April 2022, period 12 of last year. We were fortunate that this examiner, this question paper, gave us these hints. So be mindful that in not all instances will you be getting this type of hints. So you need to familiarize yourself with periods. We are lucky enough, they also mentioned that you should use the general journal. Remember, you created the general journal when you did the setup. That's on page 5. You created the general journal. I'm trying to find my one there. And to give you the exact page reference, it's on page 6, and the line right at the top where it says entry type general journal debit. So you created this general journal. Now you get a chance to use it. And as you are familiar with in 4, these are the journals. Click on them and you select the general ledger, and then you're going to click the general journal. There it is. Select it by clicking on it and entering using enter button. First thing, as I taught you, as you are aware of in Info, you need to go to settings. Let's get this right. The processing is not going to be this year because the question paper specifically mentioned 30th of April 2022. They also mentioned, fortunate enough, it was last year. So you need to untick this here, and look what's going to happen at the bottom here. When you untick immediately last year, So you know your period is correct. The rest, I wouldn't go too in depth, so let's not bother about it. But yes, most important, last year. I'm going to close the settings now, and then I'm going to select the correct period. Just like in N4, you need to be mindful of this here. It's period 12. And there it is, April 2022 to the 30th of April 22. You also could just key in 12 and immediately the date. Spend a second or two to ensure that the date is correctly reflected, 30th of April 2022. Here, you just type that account as stated on the question paper, 5,000. Click enter. Your reference as given to you is GJ12, and your description is going to be balance. Be mindful, it's given to you. And then you're going to put the entry on the credit column because it's to do with capital, 140,000. Ensure that you don't mess up by capturing the incorrect amount. It's 140,000 here. Now, going back to where this important issue that I need to discuss with you, that is to do with the contra account. When it comes to opening balances, like in this case, there is no contra account. There is no contra account. If you recall, this was also covered in N4 syllabus. They do not capture anything there. Your work will be definitely wrong. No, when it comes to opening balances, no contra account. Then you're going to go down, which captures the first line. Let's go down. Immediately, it's already there. The 12 date is there. And then you capture the next one, 5100. Notice the reference is being not incremented, but it's there for us. And we put 65,500 and go down. Next one, 5200, which is the, sorry, mistake there. See, 5200, and there it is. And you're going to put this in the credit column because it's retained income. And you're aware that in the statement of financial position, retained income appears on the credit side. It increases capital. We go to the next account, 7500, which is inventory. Notice here it gets the account name appears, and you've got to know that inventory goes on the debit side. So to quickly enter that correctly, 99,210. You have to capture these balances correctly, else it will not be in balance. And then to find time and to locate your error becomes an issue. We're moving to the next account, which is the 8,000. And there it is, the trade receivables, 105,210. Move to the next account, which is going to be 2,000. Don't need to put in the /00. That will come automatically, the sub account. Yeah, it is it's an income, so 254,600. And we're going down to the next one, which is going to be 2200. Mistake, 2200. There you are. And again, on the credit side, commission 36,500. We're going down to the next one, 2600. There it is. And that amount is 12,800 rands. Now you will notice that I erroneously left or omitted to enter sundry income. So it's not a problem. You can enter it below. It's not a problem. And there it is now, 52,000. I will suggest to you, as you are working, check those amounts that you have already captured. That will help you to ensure that you've captured all balances. So we're back to the capturing of the account number. In this case here, now we go to expenses, which is 3,000, and expenses by default is always on the debit side. And we're moving on to the next one, 3200. There it is, goes on the debit side, 13,600. I think by now you should be able to pick up and see a pattern emerging. So it is not so complicated, but errors will crop up if you don't capture balances correctly. So 3. I'm now on business insurance, which is going to be 3400. And now it's going to be 18,700. Go one down for petrol to accept. And we're going to go into 3500, which is telephone. The amount there is 5880. Now move on to the next one, which is going to be 3600. And that one will be 9,900. Let me capture this incorrectly and let's see what happens. So the last one, 3700, and we've got 15,000. You will notice that this balance is off by 90,000, sorry, 90 rands, and it's debit. You have two options. One, you could look for your error. You and I know that it's this one here, or you can create a suspense account and put this balance on the opposite side. If it's debit, put it on the credit side. If it is credit, put it on the debit side. But it's best to take your time and ensure that you capture correctly. 9900, and there it is. Now you'll see that it's in balance. At this point, if you do not have this imbalance, you are familiar. Let me go and change again. Recall, if I'm going to update, which I don't want to do, or if I want to print or update, it's going to give me an error. Print will contrast, it's fine. Although there's no contrast, it's fine. But you'll notice an error message will come up here. There you are. Contrast is not set up. So you have an error message. It will print, but it will be wrong. So let's go back again to all our work. And correct the error. Lastly, as I mentioned, update, it will not even allow you to update because it's not in balance. So there you are. You have to be very meticulous. You have to take your time and ensure you capture correctly 9900. And now good to go. When I print as per the question paper, 19 marks print with contrast. Right, and here it is. In my case here, I have set this to a printer of my choice. So I'm going to now just use something. You have your printer already set up, and there you are. It's now going to get ready for printing, and I'm going to put it on my desktop, and I'm going to call it 1.1.5 November 2024 for more. And I'm going to save this as a PDF. You'll notice it worked, it's everything in balance, and now it says post or update this general journal. I'm done with the work. I've printed my work. I know I'm in order. I don't have a problem, and now I can just update it. There you are. Update this journal. There it is. And I'm going to update. I chose not to back up. There is no need to back up. So there you are. That is going to award you 19 marks. If you have any questions, please, as usual, feel free to ask. It is your decision to learn. It is your decision to ask questions. And it's up to you. Thank you so much.